Hi. If this is your first time to join, welcome. Glad you're here. And if you've been with us over the last several weeks, welcome back. I know that I have come to look forward to this time together. It anchors my week, and it sets a theme, an intention for the week ahead. And it reminds me to breathe. We need to breathe every day at some point in the day. I mean, obviously we breathe all the time, but we need to remember to stop and consciously release the tensions, release the holding on, and just to breathe. Jewishly, we are traveling right now. We are traveling in the desert between Egypt and Mount Sinai. We are therefore traveling between liberation and revelation, between the first taste of freedom and receiving the laws, the Torah constitution of the Jewish people. And it's the Torah that makes a free people also a responsible, just, respectful, and compassionate people. We're also traveling in the book of Leviticus. Leviticus is that book of laws, so many of which are very old. Some are obscure, many are difficult. Some are really primitive, particularly as we think about how our ancestors viewed illness, the reaction to and the handling of illness. And it occurred to me, as we are traveling this uncertain time in our world, time of confusion and anxiety, of loss and pain, a time of many questions and few answers, that we are living with a very primitive response to a very 21st century problem. In fact, the CEO of the Cleveland Clinic was quoted as saying, we are using 14th century methods to deal with a 21st century problem. There's a lot to be said about that, but most of it let us put aside as we recognize that it is testing all of us and causing us to pare down our lives to their very essentials. What really matters. At the end of each day, what has really mattered? What are our priorities? For what are we grateful? And certainly, we are grateful for the most basic gift of all, the ability to breathe in and out. So, understanding the primitiveness of this time, let us go back to the most primitive instinct of all, that of breathing. Let's sit comfortably. And yet, with vitality. It's not a collapsed sitting, it's a present sitting. We bring ourselves to this moment. We might want to sit a little bit straight, not overarched, not straining, just ready, present, here. You may want to close your eyes, or you may just want to softly gaze at nothing specific, nothing that might distract you from our time of just breathing. It's the basic mechanism of our lives, breathing in and breathing out. It may help just to take that big, full, cleansing, healing breath. To feel all the holdings inside of us let go, release. To feel the freedom of just knowing that our breath is going in and it is coming back out again. Breathe in a fullness. We breathe out the restrictions. Just for these few moments, we are released from the rules and the limitations and the precautions and the anxieties and the fears. We are breathing them out and breathing in renewal. A freshness, a restorative sense of the air, the sky, the sun, the world, the greenery, all of which seems to go on even better without us. We breathe in and we breathe out. And we may notice the breath goes in the nostrils. Do we feel it on the left side or more on the right side? Is it truly simultaneous? Do we feel it go down our throats, into our bellies? We might put a hand there just to feel the breath doing what it is supposed to do, filling our bodies, filling us with vitality, with vigor, with anticipation, and letting us release anything that might get in the way. I continue to be inspired by the ancient ritual of counting. As we have said, we are in the period of counting the Omer, which is a particularly primitive ritual, seemingly ideally suited for this time. We count up the 49 days that bind Pesach to Shavuot, the second night of Pesach, to our festival of the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai. We are counting in anticipation of a destination of liberation and spaciousness. And we think of our ancestors released after 49 days into an expansiveness of living fully, freely, with ease, and a new appreciation for what it means to be free. Today is the 25th day of the counting of the Omer, something most of us would never have acknowledged if we weren't also in a period of marking the days, of counting how our lives have changed in just 8 short weeks. In the mystics' formulation of this time in our calendar, they interpreted this day, the 25th day, as the day of endurance within what they identified as a week of endurance. I cannot think of a better word, a better adjective to describe our contemporary experience of the pandemic that is gripping our world. Let us breathe in and let us breathe out in defiance of fear, uncertainty, dislocation, disorientation. We breathe in. An expansiveness of freedom, we breathe out. Constriction, restriction, limitation. Before we conclude, let me just offer the possibility that you can continue as long as you like. You can come back, meditate again. Many people meditate more than once in a day, although some just set aside a certain time each day. But I would review for a moment an image that is in our Torah. As the Israelites wandered through the desert, we read that they were guided by a pillar of fire at night and a pillar of cloud during the day. Both of them represent God's protective presence. The image is used for a poem conceived for the 25th day of the counting of the Omer, with which I would conclude by way of benediction and of anticipation. Even if this is the path you're meant to walk, no one promised pedicures and crumpets. Don't you think the children of Israel struggled under the weight of not knowing what lay ahead? Resting when the cloud of glory paused, and marching when it lifted, no questions asked, no door worth opening, no journey worth taking can be wholly mapped in advance. No one knows, except for God, what's on the other side. I wish you a week of breathing in and out, a week in which our endurance, although tested, is found strong, resolute, present, because we know that marching together, we will in fact reach the other side. God bless you with health and with strength and with safety. Until next time. Bye-bye.